a stick in the middle of the field. And what makes this worse is that
One day a film crew comes in and is using Laugh in the Dark for a film
them
set.
in the hospital. And when the fire happened, they forgot all about it.
Having a tiz.
And I look up and I see my neighbor.
Welcome back to my channel. Now, yesterday I know I posted a scary video compilation that we watched together. Well, tonight, it's tonight here. Tonight I have another compilation because there were so many good scary videos there. I just had to, let's do a part 2, if you will, to yesterday. But come and enjoy these with me. I'm glad you're here with me. Like and subscribe for me. I am trying to get up there in my numbers, guys. So tell your friends, tell your family, you know, whatever you gotta do.
This next video shows a father who's recording his son playing a video game when something very unsettling is caught on tape. The father in question is known as Ernesto Espinoza, and he's been uploading videos of his family on his YouTube channel. Although each video shows nothing more than a father who's enjoying the time he spends with his family, 2 videos in particular stand out from the rest. Unlike the other videos, these 2 have shown something that has caused concern among viewers of his content. The first video was posted not too long ago, and what's captured in it is pretty creepy. Be sure to look closely, or you'll miss it.
Ya suyo, ya la tienen ahí. Ya la tienen ganada. Eso. Qué pro.
I did.
¿No se oyó la canción?
In case you missed it, if you look closely at the pile of toys in the corner, a baby doll can be seen moving on its own. Ernesto hadn't noticed this until viewers had pointed this out. Now, although this video has convinced most people that Ernesto's family is being haunted by something, it's the second video that has caused the most concern. At the start of the clip, we can see his daughter dancing around in what appears to be the living room, when all of a sudden, something truly frightening is caught in the background. Take a look. As the little girl dances around the room, a dark figure passes by quickly inside another room before the door shuts on its own. Like the video before,
freaky,
viewers have suggested to Ernesto that he and his family should leave the house immediately. Although he appreciates the concern, it seems that he won't be leaving anytime soon, given that there haven't been any more strange occurrences in his home. But until something like this happens again, it seems that Ernesto and his family will continue to carry on with their lives. The question still remains though, had something paranormal been caught on camera, or was something else caught instead?
The man in this photo is one of the worst sexual offenders in the history of Ohio. This man's name was Brian Peppers. For years, this photograph circulated on the internet attached to his story of sexual abuse, and nobody believed that it was real. But some fact-checking was eventually done, and yes, Brian Peppers was a real man with a real peppered past.
Words there.
So Brian was born with something called Cruzon syndrome. And when Brian was younger, he was bullied incessantly by people in his school. So as Brian grew older over the years, his body quickly began to grow weaker, and eventually his mental health deteriorated to such a point that he had to be checked into a nursing home. But it was in the year 1998 when Brian was arrested and convicted of molesting somebody. According to the report, he actually sexually abused the nurse that was taking care of him in the nursing home. Brian was then removed from the nursing home. He spent 30 days in jail, and he was on probation for 5 years. After this incident, Brian was on the sex offenders registry in Ohio up until his death. When he died, Brian Peppers was only 4 foot 1 inches tall. and he passed away on February 7th, 2012. Which, eerily enough, is the day that I'm posting this TikTok, and I didn't even realize it until I read that.
This is maybe the scariest urban legend I've ever heard, and it ended up being true. Back in the 1970s, there was this terrifying fun house in Long Beach, California called the Laugh in the Dark. And there was always this urban legend that all the mannequins inside were fake, except for one. Also, mind you, this is what this week's episode is about, so if you don't want spoilers, just listen to the episode. This urban legend came to be because there was one mannequin inside that just looked wrong. All of the other ones looked fake, but this one in particular looked way too human. And a bunch of the kids also said the area that the mannequin was in just smelled really, really bad. So a few years go by, and one day a film crew comes in and is using Laugh in the Dark for a film set. The director's lining up a shot, and he just doesn't like the way this one mannequin looks in frame. So he goes over to a crew member and he's like, hey, can you just move this out of the shot? So the crew member goes over and starts moving the mannequin when its arm pops off. And inside of the mannequin's arm is human bone. The kids had been totally right. The mannequin was a mummified body. There's so much more to this story, like who the person was and how they got there.
Animation.
I'm here to tell the story of the time I went to the park with my friends. On a Friday night during the summer, I asked my friends Alyssa and Maya to come over to play Just Dance and have a sleepover. Alyssa arrived first, then Maya. We go upstairs to put the sleepover stuff in my room and head back downstairs to my living room to play Just Dance like we normally do on Fridays. We played for hours, and of course, I got mega stars every time. My friend Maya suggested we go to the playground right next door to my house to stargaze. We tell my dad where we're going and head to the park in our little fuzzy PJ pants and sweatshirts. I often get paranoid, and my biggest fear is what's lurking in the dark. My friends know that, so they comfort me in those situations. We start walking to the playground, and I'm already pretty anxious. We make it to the swing set, and we start acting like idiots, laughing like little kids telling their moms to push them. Then we stop laughing as much and start spilling secrets. I start having this feeling that we're being watched. But I looked around, and there were no cars in the parking lot, and no one at the field, at the playground, or bathroom. I thought to myself, what if it's just an animal? But then I think, no, we are being watched. I know it. My instincts are right almost every time. My friend noticed me getting scared, so Alyssa says an inside joke of ours and starts reminiscing about old times. I start to feel better and decide to play some music and run up the slide to lighten the mood. My friends take some pictures of me holding up a peace sign on the swings for their snap stories. I run down to join them as Maya pushes Alyssa on the swings, and I begin checking my phone to see the pictures of me. In the corner of my eye, I see something moving. That's when I stand up from my swing and see the shadow underneath the slide. I go over to my friends and say, yo guys, do you guys see that thing too? They both say, no, it's probably a shadow from a car passing or something. Relax. I knew in my mind that I'm not going crazy, and then I say, no guys, really, there's someone under the slide. Look. Then Alyssa sees the thing move towards the slide, and she yells, yeah, you're right. There's definitely someone under the slides. The thing starts inching towards us on all fours, moving like a lengthy animal. It was so creepy. I've never seen anything move like that in my life. It was so long and moving so silently. I grabbed our phones that were on the ground and sprinted for my house like I was in the Olympics. I yell, start running now! My friends stayed at the swings. I looked back and yelled, why are you guys sitting there? Run! My friends then started running slowly and then looked at me and said, Haley, you're going way too fast. Slow down. I tell them, guys, he might be following us. You gotta catch up. We make it to my house and slam the door shut. Then we run to my dad and tell him what we saw. Alyssa says while her and Maya were still at the swing, she saw it was a man with a tilted head and a sad emotion on his face. He looked young, like in his 30s, but obviously not some little kid who needed to find their parents, or they would have come up to us and asked for help. My dad said it was probably some prankster and to not overthink it. We went up to my room and my friends kept telling me it was probably no big deal. I kept thinking of all the possibilities of creeps stalking us at night. It's been months since then, and my friends have recently told me how they still don't know the mystery behind the man at the park. To this day, I don't go to the park at night. For your own safety, I suggest you don't either, no matter how fun it may sound. Or you might end up in my situation, but not as lucky.
Hi, it's Kelly. I haven't been down here in a really long time, like a month or two. After what happened, I couldn't come down here. So but my family's come down here a lot, and so has my brother, and they say they've seen nothing, and my brother, I made him look through every single room and everywhere, and there's nothing here, and I need to finish this video, so I'm doing it. So, this is a training board.
See? Oh.
Mom, it's back! Why is this door open? Hello? Mom, it's back! Why is this door open? Hello?
What the hell?
Noah?
Did you see it? Something was in the closet, right? Let's look at that part again.
Let's see. Camera can see it now. Okay. No, switch. I know.
One of the scariest true stories I've ever heard. Back on October 17, 1941, police found the lifeless body of 73-year-old Philip Peters inside his Denver, Colorado home. He'd been bludgeoned with an iron rod. Strangely, all the doors and windows in the house were locked and there were no signs of forced entry. While this was going on, Peters' wife had been in the hospital recuperating from a broken hip. She returned to her now empty house along with a housekeeper to help care for her. Over time, both women became increasingly terrified as they began to hear strange noises throughout the house in the middle of the night. Eventually, the housekeeper quit because she was convinced the house was haunted. Mrs. Peters soon abandoned the house as well. She moved in with her son in western Colorado. This left the house empty, or so they thought. Over time, neighbors began complaining to police that strange things continued to occur inside the house. Movement could be seen from inside, and sometimes lights would click on in the middle of the night. Police staked the home out. Then on July 30th, 1942, one of them noticed some movement inside the house. They burst in and ran upstairs to the attic just in time to see a pair of skinny legs sliding inside a tiny trapdoor. Police reached in and dragged out a skeletally thin homeless man named Theodore Edward Conies. The 59-year-old Canadian immigrant had broken into the house weeks earlier and found a tiny trapdoor in the attic that would have been too narrow for any normal-sized man, but not for someone as scrawny as he was. Conies had been living inside the house completely unbeknownst to Mr. and Mrs. Peters. That is until one night when Mr. Peters caught him downstairs stealing food from the fridge. After that, an altercation ensued, and Conies beat the life out of the old man. It was because of Conies' narrow stature that the press dubbed him the Denver Spider-Man. So the next time you hear a strange noise inside your house, you might want to check to make sure you really are truly alone.
Teletubbies? The real story of Teletubbies is taken from a mental hospital in Bulgaria for a group of children. Lala has a distorted face that makes her smile all the time. She always sat in her room alone in the hospital, so her skin turned yellow because she wasn't exposed to the sun. Tinky Winky was 7 years old, and he hit himself on the wall until his head cracked. So they tied him up with a rope so he wouldn't move. Because of the rope and restrictions on his limbs turned blue. Boo was with them in the hospital. And when the fire happened, they forgot all about her. I think you know why she is red. And for Tinky, he was always hungry and sad because he was depressed. When they gave him food, he would just throw it away. Nipsey represented a deaf child who was allegedly tied to a fence outside and suffered frostbite. The characters of the Teletubbies are based off of real children who endured horrific experiences. Why would they base a children's show off of real-world horrific stories from a mental hospital? Do you know that?
I think she's lagging in real life. What is happening? What? What?
Well, our hair attracts, you know.
not joking. He just took my hair. What do you mean? He fucking took my hair? I don't know. Something fucking there. Let me out.
Look, she got off like, what the? I don't know what she doing.
This might be the most brutal way somebody has ever died, and whatever you do, don't look up the picture. Octavio da Silva was a 20-year-old soccer referee in Brazil, and on June 30th, 2013, he was refereeing a soccer game when he sent off a player named Josmir Santos Abreu, who was 31 years old. He refused to leave the field and began a fight with the referee. Abreu threw a punch which made Octavio draw a knife from his pocket and repeatedly stab Abreu. Abreu died on the way to the hospital, and when fans watching the game, including Abreu's family and friends, found out about his death, they invaded the field and stoned Octavio before decapitating him, and then ripping his limbs from his body with just their strength and no weapons, and then put his head on a stick in the middle of the field. And what makes this worse is that a graphic video surfaced online shortly after the incident, showing medical personnel reassembling Octavio's body.
Will not.
The video and pictures are extremely disturbing, and I don't recommend looking them up. The way his limbs looked after being ripped off is extremely unsettling to look at, because you see strings of flesh, tissue, and bone because it wasn't cut off properly and it was just ripped off.
Right.
This case is absolutely awful, but why did Octavio pull out a knife when somebody just punched him? If he didn't stab Josmir Abreu to death, he would still be alive today. But just imagine being literally ripped limb from limb by an angry group of soccer fans, and there's nothing you can do as they pull your body apart.
My kids were singing to us when all of a sudden my daughter looked towards her room and got scared.
I'm sorry.
ونور القدوس أمان ونور القدوس يخرج يديك غير ما تروح دايس بلا خير
Going for a walk and I look up and I see my neighbors.
Woke up to the sounds of a child crying, and this is what I caught.
Wake up and there's something over there crying. Do you guys see that?
Actually.
Do you guys hear that crying? Look, it's fucking moving. What the fuck is that?
Well, that's not good.
Yo, what the fuck is that?
Yo, what's...
Fuck, run! Run!
Yeah.
Guys,
I definitely would be out of there. Oh, that horse.
Oh. No, come on. Come on. No, Conkers. Oh, just... Sorry. I think it's when Peggy is in the back of your car.
But you knew that now.
Whenever he sees your car, he's like, oh my god. Oh, stop it. Stop it. I don't really know why. Look. Yeah. He's just having a tiz.
Spirits.
Thanks.
Actually.
Conkers. My goodness. See you later.
Just coming in from planting those trail cameras. There's vultures everywhere. It's odd.
He was done.
Oh, I got into a fight with a ghost
Hey,
at
yo.
work.
Alright, that is it for today's video, and that was a good one to end on because that one was cute. But I hope that you guys like and subscribe to my channel. Like this video. I hope I've earned it from you, and I look forward to coming back again, doing more videos and hanging out with you guys. You know, send me some comments. Let's talk, chat, give me advice, whatever you want to do. I love it all. But again, thank you, and I love you. Have a good night. But wait, we gotta... You promised you weren't gonna be an asshole. You promised me.